All right, George, happy Easter. I just wanted to kind of comment
Happy Easter,
on
mate.
The left's reaction to it more than anything, because I've seen yourself, the Communist Party and a few other left groups that were in favour of the Supreme Court ruling have received quite severe backlash, and as well as that, there's been protests up and down the country, and I just kind of wonder to myself, where does this energy come from for an issue that even from a kind of sympathetic position towards trans people, it doesn't have any material bearing. It's about bathrooms and segregated sex spaces. But where does this energy come from, and where is it when, you know, conscription's on the horizon, things like this? Why can't we mobilise young people for these issues? I've not seen protests up and down the country for conscription.
Well, it's a very good question, Jude. I wish I had an answer to it. It's important to keep it in perspective. There were protesters literally micturating on Parliament Square. I'm not sure what the thinking behind that was, but P for me was the hashtag. They wanted the people there assembled to all whip it out and pee on Parliament Square. That was their protest at the Supreme Court ruling. But there were not thousands there. There were hundreds there. Keep it in this perspective. There's 2.8 million women in Scotland. And the Supreme Court ruling has saved the rights of 2.8 million women. And they did so, by the way, following years of campaigning by women's organizations who refused to accept that self-declaration of womanhood gets you a ticket into the women's changing room, gets you a ticket into the women's boxing team or athletics team. And they won. 2.8 million women in Scotland's rights were secured. I don't know how many trans people there are in Scotland. I'm going to guess it's in the high hundreds rather than the thousands, but it might be in the low thousands. The rights of 500 or 1,500 people against the rights of 2.8 million people has produced of the energy, as you describe it, of small protests throughout the country. Of much more significance is what I'm learning from breaking news this evening, that the Labour Party intends to sabotage the Supreme Court's ruling. This infatuation, this madness, transmania, in which not just the Labour Party, but as you say, so-called leftists, liberals, and even the Conservative Party, this madness has reached the stage where a Supreme Court ruling is going to be sabotaged by a Labour government led by Keir Starmer. That Labour government is preparing to legislate to overturn the Supreme Court's judgment on what is and what is not a woman. I can promise them this: there'll be plenty of energy from our side in defense of women's rights and in defense of biology and science. There'll be lots of energy from us if they proceed down that road.